Alright, it's Mike Messier with a very rare inside the mind of Mike Messier creative. Now, when I do my videos for Vimeo, YouTube, personal use, wrestling rants, I don't often get into the creative process because, everything I talk about with pro wrestling, movie reviews, it's stuff that is important to me, it's important to you, but at the core of Mike Messier, I'm a creative genius. And I only say that with full confidence, knowing that it's true. It's not because I believe in myself or I feel so great about my own self-worth or my own life or any of that stuff. It's that I know the quality of my writing is beyond most writers, quite frankly. I've written stories since I was a child. I've been educated, self-educated, taken great film classes, acting classes with some of the very best in the business. Tom Kane, Barry Primus, Steve Fierberg, Ann Mulhall, amongst others, have taught me, and I've learned well. I've met Larry Moss. I've been in his home. I've studied for days watching Howard Fine in person. So I don't speak like some jerk off. I've acted in a scene with Meryl Streep. I've done these things. These have happened. And so tonight, what I'm sharing with you is a rare dip into my creative ocean. Since 2013, and now it's 2018. So for almost 5 years, I've worked on a piece. It was originally titled Disregard. The title was changed to Disregard the Vampire. Then a great creative divide happened, and legalities happened, and a documentary and a film was born, a Disregard the Vampire Mike Messier documentary. From the ashes of that process came Distance from Avalon, and only one character named Joe, and the basic premise of a 4-character, somewhat of a vampire story, but somewhat different, came out of that. And for several years, I've been at this point where this vampire character, I haven't had the right person. There was a friend, a guy who became a very good friend, who took over the role of Distance, or previously, the prior project, the title was Edgar for the character, but unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with that gentleman. He's a good guy, but we've just lost touch, and I don't know what to say about it, and that's all I'll say. But this role is just very important that the right person play this role. And for years, I've looked to others to play this role. And there's a certain look that I have in mind, or a certain presence. I mean, someone with the presence of a Vincent Price. Someone with the presence of Bela Lugosi, of the classic Dracula, although this is not a Dracula movie. The Hammer horror films, and I don't even want to speak the name of some of these gentlemen out of respect. And it's not a Dracula character, it's a different character. But tonight, really for the first time, in front of a room of my peers, and it was basically 4 other people witnessed my taking on this role that I've written, and always passing it off on somebody else. But tonight I took the role upon it myself, and I got some good coaching, some great coaching from a gentleman in New Hampshire, and my friend Christine kind of set up this acting workshop, and it's really and I try to be very practical and always do what's best for the project, not what's best for me on a personal level, because a lot of times, folks, as a writer, director, actor, acting coach, what might seem like the very best thing for the project is really just what's best for me personally, and the project suffers. But I know this character. I know how to command an audience. The things as an actor I'm most concerned about for myself are memorizing lines, even though I wrote these words. Yes, memorizing a massive amount of words is a challenge for me. Some actors, I've worked with actors who just see it in their head like it's a piece of paper. They just pick out the words and it's so simple. But for me, memorizing great volumes of dialogue is a challenge. Yes, even if I've written the words. The other aspect is the look. The look that I have now, which maybe it's being self-degrading, but I call it my Barney Rubble look. I'm clean-shaven. I'm obviously Caucasian, which sounds like a cover band. Obviously, it sounds like a Huey Lewis and the News cover band. Obviously Caucasian, playing at the Twin River Casino in Sioux Falls next week. But I'm obviously Caucasian. I have a very clean-shaven look, and I don't have the look of which I think would be interesting. You saw the stomach there, but I've been working on my muscles. I've been, gaining muscle thickness, especially in my calves. But I do feel that if I were to apply myself for the next 2 months with the proper facial hair, the proper hair coloring, the goatee back, there is a look that I can acquire that'll work for this character. And it's also about costuming. When it's the middle of the summer and it's fucking hot, and there's heat and humidity, and I'm not feeling good, I'm not feeling right because it's so hot, I'm not going to have the look for this character. But when it's fall, October, darkness in New England at 4 o'clock at night, and when I feel like I can wear a long sleeve shirt and I can wear a jacket and perhaps a scarf, and I can grow my hair out and the sideburns, and grow the hair in black and little shades of gray coming in, and look a little rough. And the costuming, like when I'm walking around in a tank top and shorts because it's so hot, that's gonna not be great. But when I can wear a winter jacket and some jewelry on my fingers. So yes, I'm an actor who works from the outside in, meaning that I work as an actor. If I wear the proper costume, if I feel good about what I'm wearing as the character, then that helps me internally. That helps me feel in touch with the character. And some actors aren't like that, believe it or not. Some actors don't want to worry about costume. They don't want to worry about facial hair or modifications to their look. But for me, looking as if I feel like this is how the character wants to look, that helps me get into it. Okay, so that's part of the process. The other thing is the confidence in the lines. And, it's a cop-out if you write a piece that it's a fucking dangerous slope, folks, to direct yourself, to be the writer, director, and actor. I mean, that's, Eastwood, heavyweight type of stuff. And I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant. I'm just giving you a fucking view into the creative process. This piece means so much to me as a writer that I have to have full confidence in myself as the writer, passing the piece to the director and then casting it. So I have to go through this process of feeling as if these three parts are all in synchronicity. It's not just Mike Messier being Mike Messier. This is a fucking character that I'm talking about. And I have to take that, at the end of the day, whether it's me or somebody else delivering these words, they have to be delivered properly. The other thing is that there's seduction, there's romance, there's sexuality in this piece. And so that has to be handled with a tender mind and a sensitivity. And it can't just be, I'm not, if anything, I'm more apt to be timid in my direction, timid in my acting, out of respect, concern, everything else. But this piece does have some legitimate heat, passion. So that has to come through. And it can't be timid or weak. It has to be real. It has to have some gusto to it. So there's some stuff here going on. There's special effects in this piece. And when I say this piece, this is written as a stage play, a novella, and a fucking film. So just thinking about it now, it lends my mind naturally to want to cast another actor, because I think about the giant challenges of even doing this piece, and it's crazy, it's asinine to take this on as an actor and the director, because it's a giant epic fucking piece. So this is what goes on in the creative mind. As an actor, I'm hungry to do the piece, but when I start thinking about the directing aspects, then as an actor, I cower, I fear, because I don't see it all as one challenge. I see it as divided challenges that need to be approached. And that's when it gets to be overwhelming, in short. Beyond that, there's an option, which I didn't think about until now, which is, what if I were to write, which I've already done, have someone else direct this thing and I act in it? Now that's an interesting option. It's an interesting option that I fret from, because I don't know if I can trust someone else's direction. And when I say trust, a lot of times, folks, it's, well, this is what I had in mind. Another person comes along, well, this is what I had in mind. And one may not be right or wrong, but it's different. So whoever doesn't get their way feels like it's wrong. And I've been burned on that fucking icicle stick a few times, and no one's ever fucking happy. So there's a lot of elements into this process. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but I do know that time ticks on all of us, and projects that we think about too much and act upon too little never fucking happen. There does not seem to be another actor who's standing up and screaming to the heavens, I must have this role, regardless of whatever else is going on in the goddamn world. There does not seem to be a universe that's demanding this piece to happen. It can either happen or it can't. And ultimately it comes down to one person. That person's my fucking Messier. Is this project ever gonna fucking see the light of day, see an audience or not? The world's gonna have other movies. You're going to have Transformers 3 or 5 or 10 or Twilight Zone or whatever the fuck. You're going to have plenty of movies to watch, plenty of stage plays to see. The question is, do I fucking man up, ball up, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and get my fucking masterpiece on stage? Whether it's me or someone else acting in it. That's the fucking question. It's to be.